Now, once you're in your hotel room, you're probably going to want to charge up your laptop or your iPad or your smartphone. And so you're going to want to plug in your devices. Now remember, in Europe, for example, they're on the 220-volt system, if you will, whereas in America, we're on the 110. So if you try to plug, first of all, your American plug into their plug-ins, it's just not going to fit. They have a different configuration as well. So you need both an adapter to adapt the American plug into the European outlet, and then also a converter to protect your devices, your smartphones or your Apple laptops or whatever it happens to be. Many of your devices already have that converter that offers protection, so that's kind of nice to know. So know your devices, and then you can know whether or not you need to have an additional converter purchased as well. And after you have explored your hotel room, it's now time to kind of get out and explore the cities and villages. We're focusing on European cities and destinations today, and so let's talk about dinner time in Italy. Let's talk about breakfast, lunch, and dinner for that matter. Breakfast will open up at around 7:30. Your journey adventure leader will tell you and give you those times, and then you're free to go down and have breakfast, or not, every morning. And then lunchtime in Italy is a little bit different. It's later for Italians, and we try to simulate the Italian lifestyle as much as possible. And so our lunches, we typically encourage you to have lunch starting after 1 o'clock, probably around 1:30. Lunches can go for a little bit longer time than what we're accustomed to in American, especially business life. But in Italy, you're on vacation, so you have a nice leisurely lunch, 1 to 1:30 commencement time. And then dinners. Wow, dinners in Italy to eat that delicious Italian food and drink the delicious Italian vino. Well, dinners usually start at the earliest around 8 p.m. There are exceptions to every rule, of course, but most Italians will not go out to dinner until probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. And this is what we do on our journey adventures because we want to simulate the Italian lifestyle and soak into it as much as possible. So understanding that your body clock's going to be thrown off anyway, you're not going to have any problems having a dinner around 8:30 or 9. And they go late. But that's just the way it is. So I remember I talked about the body clock. Your body clock's going to be off, so just go ahead and get into the Italian lifestyle. So if you get hungry early on, not to worry. There's a great tradition in Italy called the Aperitivo. And so this is something that usually kicks off at around 6:30 in the evening. And it's the opportunity that you can go to maybe a little bar or something, and they'll have a mini buffet of food, and you can buy a beverage. So when you buy that beverage, you get access to some of that food. And it's just a great tradition to be able to have kind of a light, early pre-dinner snack, if you will. The Italians do get into this, and then there are different names for this aperitivo. Now we'll have aperitivos on our tour as well, but this will be more like a beverage, and sometimes it'll have food and that kind of thing. And so we just want to let you know about breakfast, lunch, and dinner, in particularly Europe and Italy, usually later in the evening. Now, not everywhere in Europe is like that, but for Italy and Spain in particular, these destinations, and Portugal, have a later dinner experience. So the Italian dinner starts with what I mentioned earlier, an aperitivo, to wrap up the day's business. After the aperitivo, you can pretty much count on the red and white wines being served, or sodas if you don't like wine, or water, or other creative premium beverages, which are all included on your journey dinner experiences. The antipasti, which is appetizers, these will also come out. Your journey adventure leader selects appetizers throughout the itinerary, throughout the tour, that they like and they think you'll like. Following the antipasti is the primi, or the first dish. The primi is usually some kind of a pasta or something like that. After the primi, we of course have the secondi, the entree. So this is usually a meat or that kind of thing. And then something that complements your secondi will be contorni. These are side dishes, usually beans, lentils, something like that, that complements the dishes that are being served. And then of course, what's the last dish? You're right, it's dolce. The dolce is the sweets, the dessert. And so this is kind of the traditional Italian dinner, which you'll experience on your journey vacation. And after a great night's sleep, you'll get up, you'll go down for breakfast, and you'll order some Italian coffee. Now, if you're like me, I like to do an early morning jog, not too strenuous, but an early morning jog to wake me up or to walk, and then I go to a little bar at breakfast time. And now you're questioning everything about me, aren't you? Well, at the bar, this is where the espresso coffees and cappuccinos and all the delicious Italian coffees are located. And so I want to tell you about the Cafe Americano, which is an American coffee, just like it sounds. But it came about from the World War II GIs who were in Italy, and they didn't want to drink this strong Italian coffee, so they requested, steamed milk to be added to, or milk to be added to the coffee. Cafe Americano. So you can get an American coffee, it will still be strong, even when you're in Italy on vacation. Espresso is going to be the little bitty cup with 1 or 2 shots of delicious Italian espresso, super strong. And then if you don't want to have another espresso at around 10:30 when everyone else in the country is, because it's too strong, you can order something called the espresso macchiato. Macchiato basically means stained with a little bit of steamed milk. And so you take your espresso cup, it's filled with espresso, and then they just stain a little bit of the steamed milk in there, and that kind of softens the bite of the espresso, and that's a nice, delicious beverage to have mid to late morning or in the afternoon. And there are many others. Here's something to know. When you go into an American coffee house and you order a latte, well, you understand you're going to be getting a coffee with espresso with some milk and maybe a flavor or something. Well, in Italy, the latte, which means and translates to milk, is a steamed glass of milk, no coffee. So if you want coffee with your latte, you order un caffè latte, coffee and milk. All right? That'll make it really easy for you coffee drinkers out there as you navigate the journey through beautiful Italy and even into France and other places like that. Okay, that's all we have for today's Journey TV. Check back on this page and you'll see more episodes available to you. Have a great day and a great journey.